Howdy folks, today we're doing another tier list video, this one on streaming shows, so anything that's on Netflix, Disney Plus or Amazon Prime. I've got a decent sized list of shows that I've seen. This video again is for the algorithm, but last one was pretty fun. There's a lot of very big shows on here, so let's just get on with it. Which one should we start with? Let's start with a really famous one, Stranger Things. So I'm not going to put it there yet, no. Stranger Things has had 3 seasons, right? I've enjoyed all 3, and I'm excited for the next one. It'll be really fun. I'll binge it in like 2 days. That doesn't really mean that the second and third season are particularly good. A lot of people do say, well, it could have just been that one first season, and then it could have just ended, and there is a lot of justification behind that, because each season is essentially the same plot with just a bit of a bigger scope, or different locations, or a different time of year. The best part about the second and third seasons are just the character development. You are really attached to most of the characters, so that's what makes it interesting. Season 3 was a bit tone deaf because, like, some of the comedy just happened at really inappropriate times. I did still enjoy it, and, like, visually it's really good. And, like, the production design, the production value. Oh, I mean, if we were judging it off the first season, it would probably be, like, here. Maybe even great. I mean, I don't want to commend the second and third season too much because it isn't necessarily, like, all that original. Oh, God. I'm just going to put it in good because, you know, it's second and third season are not bad, and the first season is in great, so split the difference. What's this over here? I can't see what... Oh, shit, that's Midnight Mass, right? Sorry, it's so small. Right, assuming this is Midnight Mass, this is a good one, it's really recent. This is a Mike Flanagan directed series. He directed The Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor. I've only seen Haunting of Hill House. He also directed Gerald's Game. All the stuff I've seen of his, I really like. I think it's kind of goofy, Stephen Kingian, simple horror but with certain emotional themes packaged in there. I really enjoy watching a lot of his characters. Midnight Mass is his most latest one. It came out like a couple of months ago. I was late to it, but I watched it, and I didn't like fall in love with it. Like, I wasn't binging it like, oh my god, fucking hell. But it still had some fucking brilliant moments of just excellent acting, characters that you could just connect with so easily, even though it was kind of over the top and theatrical, like the performances. Like it was a play almost. It still worked so well. I think it's better than Haunting of Hill House. It's a really interesting dissection of Christianity and just religion in general, and like spirituality and beliefs of like what happens when you die. It is a nuanced look at all that. It's not just like, haha, I'm an atheist, God's not real. It's so thoughtful, and it's not also like your classic Stephen King thing where it's like Christianity bad because, you know, they're always fucking crazy. There are characters like that in the show, but it's not like all about that. It's more so scary emotionally, like upsetting, fatalistic, if that's a word, and gloomy. Again, it's got great acting, really likable characters. The horror elements to it, because it is a horror film, a horror show. If I didn't mention that, yeah, Mike Flanagan specializes in horror. I'm not sure if I was particularly scared during it, but emotionally, it got me. It was gripping. The last line of dialogue is fucking masterful. Like, I just thought that was brilliant. Like, that was so well done. Like, some of it is just fucking really well made. I don't know where it sits right now. The only thing that's kind of making me not put it in great is, I'm not really in love with it. I didn't immediately finish it and be like, oh, that's one of the best shows I've ever seen. That was fucking brilliant. It was, like, really good in a lot of ways. But I'll put it in good for now. It's, like, substantial. It's fairly solid, you know. I'll just get this one out of the way. What if fucking I did a kind of review when I did that Lego minifigure pack opening. There's just not much to say about some of these Marvel shows, but What If is essentially like a cartoon version of like the MCU stuff, like an anthology, and each episode there's like a alternate timeline to what could have happened in a certain time in the MCU. Like, what if Captain America didn't take the serum and it was the British broad from the first Avenger, the first Captain America. And it's kind of like that. It's gimmicky, it's lore porn, it doesn't really have anything to offer on a storytelling level. It's just, if you're obsessed with Marvel, you'll just eat it up. It's just pure candy, really. There's no like good voice acting, the animation isn't good. It's just interesting if you are like a lore enthusiast of the MCU, but really it's not necessarily boring, and it's not pandering. It's just going in big, bland, but it has got the worst dialogue. If we were judging it solely on the dialogue, it'd be down fucking here in the bottom Jessica Jones Season 2 tier, and it's called Jessica Jones Season 2 because that's probably like one of the worst series of the fucking TV or whatever that's out there. That was like fucking big cringer. Big bland. It's just, yeah, it's so middling. It's not even really like a piece of storytelling. It's just, there you go, lore porn. WandaVision, some really good concepts. Not here. I know immediately where it's going. Fairly experimental for the MCU, but like then it doubles down on being safe in the latter half of the series. When I was watching the first couple of episodes where it's this fake TV show in these different eras, I was thinking, okay, this is interesting. What are they going to do with this? How are they going to build upon all this stuff they're doing here? And that's the thing. People say, oh, it started off great, and then it got shit because it went to like bland Marvel things shit in the end. But really, those first experimental episodes were hinting at something even more experimental and introspective maybe, and thematically interesting, that never came. So it's just a very incomplete piece of media. But at least there are some cool themes of grief in there, and Vision's good. But I'm going to put it in not bad. I'm going to close my eyes, pick one. Oh, fuck yeah, The Dark Crystal. Okay, this is a series on Netflix that's was being completely forgotten about, but it's one of my favourite things that Netflix has ever done. It was supposed to have a second season, but it wasn't picked up. I don't think enough people watched it, but it's so fucking cool. I hadn't even seen The Dark Crystal, the movie that came out in the 80s. I hadn't seen that before. But this just, all the puppetry, it's like a big budget puppet film. The villains are cool and actually scary. It's like a really immersive fantasy, and it's a shame that a second season didn't happen. But I really liked it, but it's been quite a while since it came out. Everything about it looks so realistic because it's all done with puppetry and models, and it's all gorgeous. And even like the story wasn't bland. It was like this weird fucking Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones for kids thing. All these different factions. It was so interesting. Some of the protagonists were better than others. It just felt like something new and fresh at the time and unexpected. And the Skeksis are just fucking disgusting and terrifying and actually fucking evil. And like, I really hate these guys, and these are horrible fucking creatures. There's actual dread that you feel from those villains, and it is a kid's property. Yeah, it's a big shame it hasn't got picked up for a second season, but we'll always have that first thing, like 8 or 10 good episodes there. I really liked it. That's going in great, easily. Should we get all the fucking Netflix superhero shows out of the way? Daredevil is like the best of all of those things. It's cool to see him back in the MCU in that new Spider-Man film. Is that a spoiler? I don't know. He's gay. It's not perfect. There's a lot of bad dialogue, and there's a very blatant formulaic nature to the structure of the seasons. It's like this thing, flashback episode. The action's fucking up here, obviously. Some of the episodes are fucking great. Wilson Fisk and the Punisher as villains are awesome. I really like Matt Murdock. Foggy I can do without. Karen woman I can do without. A lot of the side characters are very bland. The stuff with like that old blind guy, I don't like him, and the Elektra, that's all cringy. It's not perfect. Season 3 was like, again, not perfect, but on a like adrenaline basis, it was fucking sick. It was like a roller coaster. It got to like episode 4, and then it just kept going and getting like more interesting, and like the pace of it was just fucking out this world. That was really cool. But yeah, I don't think it's great. I think it's easily in good tier. Got some pretty great aspects to it, but I don't think I'll be rewatching it anytime soon. I'm glad he's back in the MCU. Maybe we'll do something interesting with him from this point onward. Let's do all of the Netflix things. Okay, there was Jessica Jones, and I know you might think, okay, it should go here. That's only for the Jessica Jones Season 2, which is awful. That's like, oh my god. Jessica Jones Season 1 is at best here. There is pandering aspects to a lot of it. Kilgrave in Season 1 urges me to put it higher. It's not really boring. Oh fuck. Thing about these three tiers here, big, bland, boring, and pandering, is a show that goes up here isn't necessarily going to be better than something I put here. They're just different versions of shit. Like bland, boring, and pandering. They can be awful shows in different ways, and I'm just trying to figure out where the fuck Jessica Jones goes. Oh. Maybe Kilgrave saves it from being bland, but a lot of it is pandering and yes, fuck, I don't know. Let's put it here. I don't know. It's not a good show. I remember there was a line in it in Season 2 where she does something. She kicks an old lady in the fucking fanny or something. And I don't know. And someone says, "What is wrong with you?" And she goes, "What isn't?" And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so yeah, it deserves pandering just for that. Be lucky you're not in here. It's weird that Jessica Jones isn't going in Jessica Jones Season 2 tier. Luke Cage, only seen the first season. I stopped watching the second season because he dabbed in episode 1 or 2, and I was like, fuck me. I have a mate who watched the second season who said that like the score or the soundtrack's really good because there's like they implement reggae music into the score, which sounds interesting, but I still don't think I'd like the second season. So I'll judge it solely on Season 1, which is Big Bland. I haven't seen Iron Fist, by the way, that's not here. I'd given up by this point. Okay, Punisher, I've only seen the first season. Apparently the second season isn't good. It's cool. It's not brilliant. By the time The Punisher had come out, everyone was really aware of how formulaic these Netflix Marvel shows were and how they're structured. So it wasn't brilliant, but cool action. I really like John Bernthal. I'm going to put it in not bad. Is that it? Oh, The Defenders. Hang on. Defenders. Fuck it. I mean, it was cool seeing them together, but it was like it was really stupid. But I'll put it in not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not really good, but whatever. Let's do some Amazon shows now. Invincible. Invincible is really good. I liked it for the gore and the action set pieces. I didn't particularly like the main character. I thought he was pretty bland. And I know Steven Yeun's a good actor, but he did just kind of give not intentionally, he just sounded like any other American teen in an animated thing or whatever. Any like American teen protagonist. Like, what? Yeah, he wasn't a particularly interesting main character, but there was so much cool shit in there. The end of that first episode where... I can't remember the name of J.K. Simmons. Is it like Omnicron Man? Omega Man? Omni-Man, isn't it? That was like fucking brilliant. That was like one of the highlight of the show. One of the biggest highlights of the show. I can't really remember how it ended. I just remember it being proper dark. There's a lot of cool stuff that it's set up that I'm interested to see just because like them going on adventures and doing stuff is cool. Just the animation and the set pieces. There's a lot that they are hinting at in future seasons. Like there's a lot of world building, which was cool, I guess, but I wasn't entirely satisfied with the amount of story we got in the first season. It felt like it cut itself off because it said like it had planned for future seasons, and sometimes you kind of want individual seasons to be a bit more self-contained and stand on their own. Omni-Man's a really cool character. I don't really know if I'm ready to put it in great yet. It's a bit like Midnight Mass. It's really good. Oh, fuck it, I'm putting it here. It's not a bit like Midnight Mass in terms of like the themes, it's just a bit like that in terms of, I'm almost tempted to put it in great. It's like the upper echelon of this tier. Loki. Loki is a much more consistent show than WandaVision. It's not necessarily bland or like, another MCU property. There's some cool stuff in there, but it's just, again, it's not that interesting to me. It kind of came and went. I don't have much to say about it. I watched it. Owen Wilson was alright. He was Owen Wilson again. Tom Hiddleston was okay. Wasn't as good as he could have been, probably, because he's a really good actor. It's going in not bad. I know I need to justify myself a bit more. But to be fair, the best thing that came from this show was Lindsay Ellis's video on it, because that was like fucking sick, and how she kind of proved that he was just not a narcissist, and that the show didn't really know what it was talking about. It's easily not bad. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Too Old to Die Young, I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but do you remember that film Drive from like 2011 or something? Really sick film by Nicholas Winding Refn. Nicholas Winding Refn directed this limited series. There are like 7 episodes, I think. It's Too Old to Die Young. It's on Amazon. It feels like it's partially inspired by David Lynch's style of filmmaking. It's very divisive. If I recommended it now here, a lot of you, I think, would hate it. It is pretentious. I will say it is pretentious. The episodes are slower and longer than they have any right to be. For the first 3 episodes of the show, all the characters talk so slowly and like minimalistically. Like, yeah, it's really good. And monotonally, yeah, I did that. And then like a 10 fucking second gap in between sentences. But because it's all done like that, sometimes it can be really effective at being hypnotic and like hanging on every word and surreal. And again, like with the fucking David Lynch shit, it's really interesting, and by the end of it I was really happy that I'd seen it. It was just hard to watch, but like it's not one of those shows that's meant to be like bingeable. It's purely experimental. It's not perfect, but I'm pretty sure there's loads of cool themes in there that people can dissect. It's just super different to anything. It's pretentious, but in like... It's the good version of pretentious where there's still a lot going on thematically. It's just a little bit more drawn out than it probably should have been, and a little bit more indulgent. Like a lot of Tarantino films I like are really indulgent. But I'm putting it in great, fuck it. It was really good by the end. Like, some of the shit in there is like fucking hell, unlike anything else you've seen in any television show. Black Mirror. Okay, now this is really judging it off seasons 3 and 4, which were made under Netflix, because it got picked up after the 2nd season by Netflix. Been a while since I've even watched any of these. Oh wait, there's a season 5 as well, wasn't there? With like 3 episodes, because they also did Bandersnatch. Let's just not judge it for Bandersnatch right now, because that is a film. Season 5 was shit. The one episode about the Mortal Kombat thing, that was pretty cool. That Miley Cyrus episode was the show at its very worst. I'm gonna put it in good. Fuck it. I mean, the best episode's been so long, but there are some really good episodes there. Never like masterful kind of social commentary. It's all fairly obvious, but it's just sort of interesting. The best episodes for me are like more the ones that are more focused on just being scary as fuck, and there's some pretty anxiety-inducing shit in there, to be fair. Queen's Gambit. So when did this come out? Did this come out like... This was like one of the big ones that blew up because it came out just as around the time Britain went into a second lockdown. At least that's what happened over here. It's a good show. It's an entertaining show. The performance she gives isn't like spectacular. It gets a little old. Her character arc isn't amazing. It's really just the chess aspect to it, and like the editing and the pacing, like the excitement and the build-up. Oh, fucking hell. It's good, but, like, never gonna watch it again. She was a bit gimmicky. The first episode was shit. I might just put it in not bad. The first episode was shit because it was just, like, the girl actress was pretty poor, and it was just really cringy dialogue, and fairly pandering. I remember absolutely slating it when I did the Surf and Netflix thing. I literally thought it was gonna be a shit show based on that. I didn't watch on for a while until the whole fucking internet was, like, fucking wanking it off. That first episode though is like the most generic, like, Christian institution. Oh no, they're evil, they're gonna fucking whip me all the time. Like, please, like, fuck off. Afterlife. Okay, this is Ricky Gervais's 4th show that I've seen, at least. It was The Office, then it was Extras, then it was Derek, then it was Afterlife. Now, I have a lot to say about Ricky Gervais as a comedian and an artist, but I can't really express all that in this video now. He does some funny stuff, but I feel like people think he's like a real smart guy, like he's an intellectual. But he isn't. He isn't that smart. He isn't that perceptive. And he isn't that good at storytelling. The Office was his magnum opus. The Office was like a fucking masterpiece and like so influential. But one thing that I keep thinking about is that was co-written by Stephen Merchant. And Stephen Merchant is the funniest part of Extras. I think Ricky Gervais has gotten very full of himself and thinks he's it, so he doesn't try as hard on his latest projects anymore, because he thinks that if it's got Ricky Gervais written all over it, it'll automatically be good. It's just this, like, his internet persona where he just says, did you know that hurting animals is actually fucking horrible? Like, that and his very surface level, narrow-minded atheist views give him the profundity of a 13-year-old edgy kid. He's just like, God's not real, ha ha ha, fuck off. Hit you dickhead. There'd be no wars if religion never happened. Without religion, we would have never had literally any wars at all in history. There's this thing called political ideology. Like, Midnight Mass is a really open-minded, fleshed out, nuanced look at religion as a whole. Doesn't condemn it, doesn't romanticize it, just shows all the different versions it can go. Ricky Gervais would never be able to even fucking start doing something like that. He's like locked into a very specific mindset, and that always comes through in the more recent media he makes. But anyway, Afterlife. Let's just talk about Afterlife. Afterlife is a formulaic, lazy, self-indulgent, platitudious show that doesn't have anything to say on grief. It's got about as much to say as like any fucking BBC show, really, that tackles the same subject. It's just Ricky Gervais has star power. The humour is, again, that edgelord from fucking 2012. I'm going to tell a kid to fuck off. Because Ricky Gervais isn't screwed on philosophically, the philosophy of the show is kind of flawed, but that's a whole other thing. I haven't seen season 2. I'm going off season 1 here. If you've seen season 2 or 3 or how many other fucking seasons there are, can you let me know whether his character has faced some kind of responsibility or consequence for killing someone in the first season? He kills someone. He fucking kills someone. There's a heroin addict who's talking to him saying, I just want to fucking die, our life's miserable. And he says, here's some money to go kill yourself. And he knows that he's going to go kill himself. Like, here's some money to buy enough heroin to kill yourself. He dies. Nothing is like, he suffers nothing after that. Like, it was okay to do that. Like, you're a fucking piece of shit, mate, honestly. And it's so self-indulgent and narcissistic in this, oh, because I'm in grief, I can treat everyone like shit. And I'm the authority. Oh my god, I can stand up to muggers because I'm in grief. I'm so broken inside. Like, it is literal porn for 13-year-old boy edgelords.
So, I'm not going to go into it, but I don't care about anything anymore. I'm not giving you any money.
Are you mental?
No, I'm just tired of doing things I don't want to do.
No, I don't care how fucking depressed or moody you are. Do not fucking do that when you're getting mugged. Don't stand there like I don't give a fuck. Stab me, mate. Ha ha ha. And then again, it's like Ricky Gervais. Oh, you know what? Dogs are even better than people. Oh, mate, he's such a dog lover. Oh my god, he's so nice. Everyone's a dog lover. Fuckface. It's so dumbfounded. I'm gonna do Bojack next. The thing he did to that fucking heroin addict in the first season is like a Bojack tier thing that Bojack would do. But Bojack would because Bojack's about how fucking flawed he is. He's this miserable bastard. The writers of Bojack are aware that you can't excuse being an awful human being by saying, oh, I've had a rough childhood, or I've had a rough life, or I'm depressed.
Bojack, just stop. You are all the things that are wrong with you. It's not the alcohol, or the drugs, or any of the shitty things that happened to you in your career, or when you were a kid. It's you. All right? It's you.
Please, in the comments, if you've seen second season, fucking say, yeah, he literally goes to prison. He kills someone! It's fucked. Anyway, what do I do? He doesn't know how to, like, balance moods either, Ricky Gervais, so there'll just be bits where he randomly inserts, like, vulgarity monologues there. Just random, because he's like, oh, I love a bit of that as well. I don't know how to structure anything. Fuck it, just because of that, yeah, I'll put it there. Fuck you. Nice and low. It is pandering in a lot of ways. Unintentionally pandering to 13-year-old edgelords. Okay, let's do Bojack. Like I said, Bojack is a great show. 6 solid seasons. The first season starts out like some kind of weird Netflix creation that's trying to be quirky for the sake of it. It takes a couple of episodes to find its identity, but I'd say make it to the episode where he takes acid or something or other. That's when Bojack really starts. That's when the show's born. This is a comedy show, but I honestly don't think it's lighthearted enough to cheer you up if you're like depressed or like suffer with mental illness, because it is heavy. It is the heaviest fucking show. One of the heaviest shows of all time. It's the heaviest show on Netflix. It is fucking brutal and disturbing just by the sheer moral ambiguity of the main character Bojack and how flawed he is. It's actually quite horrible, but it's an excellent show with excellent storytelling. I don't even like the animation that much. It's just the fucking themes and the character arcs. Will Arnett fucking smashes it. Will Arnett is like fucking gives a world-class vocal performance in that. Everyone does, really. Aaron Paul provides the more whimsical comedic side of it in later seasons where it gets more and more heavy. It is masterfully tonally balanced like that. There'll be like suicide, drug addiction, depression, all sorts of mental illnesses on one side of the show, and then there'll just be Todd doing some ridiculous larger than life scheme that's completely just fucking stupid. But honestly, Aaron Paul is underrated in that because, you know, he's seen as Jesse, and that's obviously an excellent performance, but he's so perfect for the role of Todd in this. That's his character's name, Todd. You know what? Fuck it. It ends well. It is crushingly, brutally honest in like the things that it talks about. In a lot of ways, it doesn't offer closure, and that's sort of the point. But yeah, it's Kino. It might just be the best show on Netflix. As of right now, I don't want to rewatch it just because like, I feel like it will trigger loads of fucking horrible like mental shit, you know, because it's fucked. Yeah.